Este vídeo es una demostración hecha por Lord Stephen Christ, un canal de YouTube que lleva 12 años mirando la teoría de la tierra cóncava. Y en este vídeo podemos ver cómo se puede ajustar un programa de diseño 3D mediante doblamiento de la luz y refracción en cristal, para que en un escenario cóncavo, con cielo interno convexo, se obtenga una visualización muy parecida a la realidad que experimentamos. O sea, una visualización convexa con un cielo cóncavo rodeándonos, en el que el sol y la luna parece que se esconden tras el horizonte, pero en realidad no es así. Esto demuestra una vez más que experimentamos una realidad virtual tipo Matrix Truman Show.
Well, I got great news. I figured it out. This is huge. Guys, this is huge. This is the secret of the entire universe. It has to do with the glass sky and the refraction and the inversion that takes place, the opposition speaking too fast, the opposition and curvature. For the longest time, people have wondered, how does a horizon work if we're living inside a concave sphere? And obviously, if you watch my previous videos where I show how the boat can actually give the appearance that it's going over a horizon, right? But it's an artificial horizon. It's a construct, because there's a refractive grate in front of the camera that lifts up the foreground and creates a crease within the concavity of the sphere. Next, my challenge was to figure out how the sky actually operates, and it inverts on itself. And I figured it out. I'll show you. It's rather simple. First, I'm going to play the animation. This is not perfect. I gotta iron out the bugs. But I was just so excited. I wanted to show this to you before I went any further. You are about to view a boat arch up the inside of a concave sphere with a spherical celestial sky rotating in the center. So let's watch that. Like I said, I got to iron out a few bugs. Some of the distortions are happening, but you're inside a concave sphere. The boat goes over a horizon, and the sky is rotating as if it were a flattened sky dome. And then we have the sun or the moon rise like that. And obviously it stretches out as it gets higher, but it does squish at the horizon, and that is what we observe sometimes with the sun and the moon. It squishes at the horizon. This is a Donald Simonek's webpage. There is an apparent sky dome. It's flattened like that. It's not like perfectly semi-spherical like that. And that's what we observe with the glass sky. Okay, so let me go into the mechanics of all and how I came to this right now. Let's see here. Let me get my screen. Okay, I'm in VPR mode. If I go to general wireframe mode, and we'll go back to the side view, we see the camera here. Now, previous video I had a glass square, or a glass block, but I just narrowed it down to a plate, or a sheet basically, or grating. And so that's your initial refracting element that lifts up the horizon. The next was the glass sky, which I created here, this higher sphere right there, the sphere within the earth, where it's just glass. There's no texture mapped onto it. And I'll show you. Zoom back out a little bit, and we'll take a peek at that. Okay, it's the one highlighted in yellow there. You see it? Let me move my microphone here. Okay. So this glass sky, what I couldn't figure out before, I've tried this before. I played around with like different multiple glass spheres within, and all having a different refractive gradient to them. And the Libyan desert glass has a refractive index of 1.46, and so I was just using that refractive index or something lower to that. But what I had to do was I had to boost the refractive index way up to this glass sphere, up to like 12. So that would be right over here, this one here. Actually, it's up to 17. So I cranked it way up, and lo and behold, it inverted the entire sky. If you look in the center of this sphere, we have the literal celestial sphere right there, up in the center there. That's rotating. That's where the texture, that's where the stars are mapped onto. Okay, there's a texture mapped onto this celestial sphere. Look how much smaller it is, situated right in the middle of the Earth. And I also have a rotating sun or moon, and it's only a half sphere. We'll get a little peek of the sun or the moon. Zoom in on that. Okay, so there's the sun. It's rotating around the center, the celestial sphere in the center. Okay, it's just rotating around like that. And of course, if you understand what I say about the sun and the moon, the backside is never seen by us, and the sun, the backside of the sun, is actually dark. And so we're never going to see the backside of the sun. Zoom in on that. Crank that around a little bit. We'll go into texture mapping here. And we see the back dark side of the sun. But we don't see that when we look at the sky. We never see the back side of the sun because of the way that the light curves up and hits the front of the sun. Okay? Zooming back out here, we see how it's all texture mapped. We see the celestial sphere in the center. It's rotating, and the sun or the moon is rotating around the celestial sphere. If I just play that little preview here, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, it's orbiting slowly around like that. You see it moving around like that? My camera is along the equator. Let's get a shot of my camera. It's way down here. Okay. And so, let's take a look through the camera and see what we see. This is what we see when there is no refraction. Okay, we'll turn on the VPR mode. Actually, let me turn off the refraction. Turn off refraction. Look at that. We see the concavity of the Earth. There is no horizon. And we see the boat traversing into the distance, rising up. How we would normally see it if there was no bending light at play. We don't see the sky. If I go into wireframe, you will see the sky, the glass sky. It's a sphere. It's a smaller sphere. Guys, do you realize how monumental this is? This is the secret of the entire universe. And I was just like, I got to fine tune everything, but I just wanted to show you guys. So this is an invisible glass sphere with a very, very high refractive index of 17. It could be due to the wave cancellation or the compounding gradient, the wave cancellation, the capacitance, or something in ether that's actually intensifying and compounding the refractive index. And that was the whole secret to it. You had to like jack up the refraction to like an incredibly high rate. And so we'll go back to the VPR and we see, look at that. We turn back on a refraction and boom, it creates a virtual crease. And we'll even turn on the reflection too so we can see the stars reflecting on the water and the sun. And so the sun, it's like how we normally see. The sun squishes at the horizon. Now I think the initial refractive grate in front of the camera is causing the distortion of the sun as it rises like that. Obviously it gets elongated like that. But this is still the right way in which it would distort. It would, like I said, like we see it, it would shrink, or it would squish horizontally at the horizon. That's how we see it. It's maintaining not quite the angular size how we see it. So that's another thing where I believe I can try to fine tune like the refractive grate in front of the camera to make it actually equalize. But we're seeing the sun. This is an opposition in curvature of the sky. We're seeing the opposite effect happening. Remember the video I showed you where I morphed the sky dome? Let's see if I can find that real quick. Morphing the sky. Morphing. I can spell. Where is it? There it is. And this is an old video,
Okay,
but this
I'm going to demonstrate.
this is what's going on. The sky is morphing. The sky is a ball of stars in the middle of the earth, and it's morphing down like that with the high refractive index of the glass sky. It's up to like 17. And look at that. We see the back of the sun here when there is no refraction, but we don't see the back of the sun here. So that's the whole trick. The whole secret of nature has to do with the refraction, the curved light, the glass sky, and you're all contained inside the spherical concave earth. Look at that. The boat sinks below the horizon just like I showed you in the previous video. Okay, this is groundbreaking, guys. Spread the news within the alternative earth community. Flat earth is dead. I mean, I can do the whole thing now. Now, you know, I have the whole orbits of the planets already mapped out a long time ago. I have the orbit of the sun, the moon. With this refraction, if I fine tune it where I get, you know, I don't get the distortion, I can actually, you know, replicate. I can talk. Replicate exactly what we observe in the sky, all contained within the concavity, a concave sphere. So, guys, this is monumental. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to be working on it more to try to fine tune it, but that's all you have to do. You have two refractive elements. You got a grate in front of the camera, and you got the glass sky at a very, very high refractive index, and that's what's doing it. It's inverting it. Let's see, I can show you. If I go to the glass sky, I lower the refractive index, let's say 5. It doesn't work. Let's try 10, see what happens. 10 brings it down. Maybe 10 is enough. Yeah. So just a matter of fine-tuning it. I think it's you see, you don't see the back of the sun. The back of the sun is physically dark and black and flat, but we don't see it. We always see the front. Let's jack this up a little bit more. Let's try 13. That squishes that at the horizon, and so it's right there. Game over. Thanks for watching, guys. More to come. Exciting time. All right, this is my second test animation, and I already made vast improvements over the first one. If you recall my first video, we had the sun stretching way out of proportion, and now just a matter of tinkering with the refraction ratio, the ratio versus the glass sky and the glass grating in front of the camera. So I boosted it way up, and I'm finding out you can even boost it up even more to get a better effect. And what it's doing, obviously, it's equalizing the angular diameter of the sun. So there you go, helioballers who think the sun is 93 million miles away. You've just been busted. And of course, it's showing it as squishing at the horizon as well. And that's what we see. We see the virtual sky dome. It's like a flattened sky dome. I cleaned up the stars there, and it's working really, really good. Really good. And it's also inverting the sun and the moon too. Here, let me stop this and go to my modeler here. And what I did, I just put a little banding to denote the orientation of the sun, which side is up. And so in my animation program here, let's get a view of the sun here. Lay the floor. Okay. All right, so our sun, as you see, this is the actual sun. This is not the refracted sun. And so we see the orientation of that band on the bottom of the sun. If I pan out, we see it's going against the celestial sphere in the center. And of course, if I play it, it's going down toward you. The camera is situated below, along the equator. So if we go back to our camera view and we see what is happening with the orientation, oops, and we turn on the refraction, and let me find the frame where the sun appears. Somewhere around here. There it is. The orientation is up. It's inverted, just as I told you it would be. So there you go. This is like total confirmation. Okay, there's so many reasons why there is a glass artifice, a glass firmament above us. The glass grating that I'm fabricating here in 3D with the camera is mimicking the atmospheric refraction that actually lifts up the foreground, which creates the horizon, the crease. It's not an actual literal edge, but it's a crease created within the concavity of the Earth, as I showed you before. Let me turn back off the refraction so you can see what's really going on here. Okay, the boat is ascending up. It's going up. If there were no refraction at play, you wouldn't get a horizon and you wouldn't get the sky to do an opposition and curvature. But since we have refraction, it flips it all around. It flips the central celestial sphere and it creates a virtual sky dome. Put on the reflection as well. So, and also you notice too, I've actually created a better angle of the sky as it rises, of the stars as they rise. If you watch my previous animation, my initial one, it was kind of awkward. It was giving like more of a perspective, but this is a more natural flow of the stars. And obviously that's how the sun works too. You know, when it rises like that, it's squished, but it also has this acceleration to it. But this is working out perfectly. So this is like total. What else can I say? But there should be more accurate renderings to come. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your support.